pieces, all of a sudden you could get a pile up at the top in the women's section. So things totally unclear as we reach really the sort of halfway stage of today's action.
And here we go, we are off and facing Shuvalova. And we have liftoff in Carlsen versus Keymer. And Carlsen is going for the improved 1b3, goes for knight f3, d5, and now b3. Then e5 is stopped. Playing it slowly against Vincent here, looking for a game.
Well, honestly, I'm completely shocked by Magnus's appearance today, yeah, that he comes in time to the games, but he's playing extremely slowly. Yeah, it's not the Magnus we know usually when he's playing Blitz. Yeah, when he's so determined, he plays very fast. He always controls the clock and the position, and something is not exactly the same with him today.
Yeah, going for a slow build-up here. Keymer refuses to take on f3, doubling the white pawns, just keeps the bishop. Very solid setup, of course. e6, knight f6, all to play for. In Giri Nepomniachtchi, we have a theoretical debate in this famous c5, cd5, cd4 line. Giri,
very dramatic game. Let's go over to Magnus Carlsen against Vincent Keymer. There's fireworks on the board potentially in this one. It's still early days, of course, but Magnus is declaring his intentions. Look at how Magnus hasn't castled either. He's trying to hunt down Black's light squared bishop. And Vincent Keymer very calmly just offering a trade of pieces here, trying to get the dark square bishops off the board. Magnus slightly ahead on the clock. Remember, Magnus lost on time in the last game. That happens once in a blue moon. Normally he's got great control over the clock, but this time he won't want a repetition of that incident. Okay, he does trade off a set of pieces after kicking Black's bishop back from e5, and I think Magnus is going to stay flexible. I don't think he really wants to castle with his king yet. He wants to keep Vincent guessing. Maybe a move such as e3, put the white queen on e2. There we go, e3 played. And which side is the white king going? We'll again be able to tell a lot from Magnus's next few moves. Vincent, meanwhile, very quickly, very confidently, he loves this pawn structure. Vincent with pawns on e6, d5. Rock solid foundations for Black. Magnus, committal, pushing for g5. Black's knight now either has to retreat to a bad square or sit on the edge of the board where it might never join the action again. Knight h5, Lawrence. Doesn't look like a very good piece there for Vincent, you've got to say. And Magnus,
yes,
turning things in his favour?
I'm not entirely sure, because it's a strange one. The knight actually does a great job of protecting the g7 pawn. You can now bring a rook to c8, employ some pressure. Feels like there's some queenside pressure to be had here. I'm not entirely sure that this is so great for Magnus, actually. Rook c8 played, and you can see Magnus now pause. He's starting to realise that actually he's got a few issues here on the queen side. There's some queen a5 checks that are coming, queen b6 moves. He decides to castle long. Wow.
Committal decision. He's basically pinning a flag to his king and saying, come at me, this is a target for you. But yes, his idea is to attack on the opposite flank later. I must admit earlier, Lawrence visually found it difficult to see the black knight on h5 does defend g7. Just very strange type of setup there. Vincent meanwhile threatens checkmate in one, queen takes c2, monster threat, Magnus defends with his rook. Suddenly Vincent, if he can get some energy going, bringing his knight in, he's trying to get to e4. Magnus has some big questions to answer. Retreating every turn now, Magnus. Knight e1. The threat was knight e4, so white square bishop now guards e4.
Great move, knight e1, I think, actually. A difficult move to play, but a great one there. Also sets up some bishop f3, bishop takes h5 ideas because of the threats along the long diagonal. So this is a very kind of standard threat. I think this was actually an absolutely critical move for Magnus to find. He did it quickly. He's up on the clock. I think the momentum is back in Magnus' favour. Probably still good for Black, but how is the question. Rook fd8. Okay, rook fd8. The king b1, king b1.
Yep, this side shuffle anytime you cast a queenside, you should always try and shuffle towards the corner, basically mirroring kingside castling on the other flank. Your king is always much safer when it's not being stared down by an opponent's queen and rook. So I'm loving that last move by Magnus, also throwing the ball back into the opponent's court, saying, okay, I'm not sure what my plan is, I'm not sure what yours is either, and look at this, Vincent spent a lot of time there. When he's throwing everything at Magnus now, the kitchen sink has been thrown in, pushing black's central pawns. I'm not seeing the idea immediately. I think he's just trying to open things up, open up those lines for the black rooks. He is banking on the fact that black's pieces are more ready and more coordinated than white's. You've got to look at the white knight now and that white rook in the corner in h1. Struggling really to get in the game there, and Magnus says, okay, I'm not going to take that black pawn. I'm not going to gamble with things opening up. And d3. Wow, setting up some tricks against the white king potentially. If this pawn is captured twice,
Rook
then the black queen is
c1.
coming into d2.
e4, look at the mess we've suddenly got. Knight e1, but is black overextending here? Could be
It's like
bishop
black-
e5.
Yeah, it's like Magnus is curling up into a ball here, just all-out defense, backs to the wall. But Vincent, like you said, overextended potentially. And what has happened here? Vincent
Oh no,
has
he's
just blundered
blundered a rook.
Wow,
He's
he just
blundered
forgot
a
about the
rook.
white queen. White queen on g4, control c8, Vincent. Wow, just an oversight there, hallucinating. Big win for Magnus Carlsen, actually from a difficult position. Let's see, Lawrence, if there are other games going on the top few boards.